Hello everyone and welcome along to your immediate post-match reaction to Benfica 2, Rangers 2. Rangers Thursdays are back and we thought they were going to be back with a bang for a little bit as Rangers put in a very impressive first half performance away in Lisbon, followed by a dogged display, should we say, in the second half where the players gave everything, and if it wasn't for an unlucky own goal from our perspective, we would have seen the game out and headed to Ibrox with the victory. Joining me to look back over the events in Lisbon, we have Kyran. How you doing, Kyran?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. An enthralling 90 minutes, especially the first half. I thought was full of action, but you would have bit the hand off for a draw right there and then, well, before kick-off, you would have took 2-1 to us at one point, but I would have bit the hand off you for a draw. So I'm happy. Very hard to be critical about that.
Definitely. I think heading into the game, you just want to be heading back to Ibrox with a chance. That's what you want to do. You know how good a team Benfica are. Fair enough, they're not high on confidence at this moment in time after quite a heavy defeat against Porto at the weekend, but they're still a very good team with very good players, and we saw some evidence of that tonight. They just seem to be lacking some confidence, but I thought we approached the game in the right way, and that came completely from the way the team was set up by Philippe Clement. Fabio Silva came into the starting lineup, and so did Dujon Sterling. So the two wide players effectively switched out. How did you feel about the starting lineup as we headed into the game? It seemed quite attacking compared to what we perhaps would have expected.
Yeah, I think we even discussed on Sunday night show, myself, you, and John, that we thought there was a chance at 3-5-2, but I was quite happy with how Clement set up, given what we had available. Now, I know we said we would have been happy taking a draw back to Ibrox. I probably would have been happy just taking no injuries back to Ibrox. But it was more attacking than what I felt, and I think we'll get on to him, but I thought Fabio Silva was outstanding tonight. It was kind of like a coming-of-age performance where he just looked completely comfortable at that level against a very good opponent, but I thought he was brilliant tonight. Sterling, I don't know, I think he fell out the game completely after his booking.
Yeah.
What I do like about Sterling, though, although he doesn't give you that attacking prowess, he wins the ball back pretty high up the park quite often. I think that's one of his strengths. But given what we had available, Craig, I think that's the best we could have picked.
Yeah, we'll come on to some of the performances that you've touched on there. We'll come on to Dujon Sterling. We'll come on to Fabio Silva. I think that was Fabio Silva's comfort zone. He obviously grew up in the Benfica academy, moved to Porto, and that was where he impressed and got his move to Wolves. So Portugal's obviously his comfort zone, and he knows the league, and I think we saw the benefits of that tonight in terms of his performance. But let's start, I guess, at the very start. Benfica came out of the traps pretty quickly. We were on the back foot, I guess, for the first 5 minutes or so. Jack Butland was forced into a really good save from David Neres. I was slightly concerned at that point purely because in previous games when we've not started fast and we've not started with a high tempo, we struggled to find it for the first half. So I was a wee bit concerned at that point. What were your thoughts at that stage?
Exactly the same. I did. I thought I think they were thinking that if we can get off to a good start here, get the fans on our side, then we'll be okay. And like you say, that Butland save for the Neres shot. He's at full stretch, a real strong hand, and then he's alert to kind of catch the rebound as well. Fantastic. He's been unbelievable this season. And then later on in the game, another fantastic stop. Like, there's nothing he can't do. And do you know something? I said to my brother before the game that I felt if Butland had a good performance here, like eyes would definitely be on him for the England squad for these friendlies coming up. I think because I think there is a doubt amongst a lot of England fans that you read online and stuff saying that yes, he's playing well, but he's playing in the SPFL. It's not quite the same as playing down in the English Premiership, but I think seeing him at this level and being tested at this level, I thought he'd done well. I thought a couple of mistakes here and there, but it was one of these games where, when I say that, I mean his distribution. It was one of these games there. Good players are still liable to make mistakes when you're playing at this level. But that if you could call it a double save, I thought was outstanding. He's been a fantastic signing. I really hope we hold on to him for a long time.
I hope we do as well. I think we might struggle, maybe if not this summer, the summer after. But I thought he made some fantastic saves throughout. I think I've written Jack Butland's name about 7 times. I noticed throughout the game saying fantastic saves. So he was definitely playing well, and he kind of set the tone, I guess, for the rest of the team as well. But I think it was Angel Di Maria that described him as one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, which is high praise. And that was before even tonight's game. So yeah, high praise for Jack Butland from the opposition, and we saw we saw the rewards of that tonight. But no sooner had I become a little bit concerned about Benfica's start than Rangers were ahead, and it wasn't what I expected, but it was some fantastic play down the left-hand side. Fabio Silva and Diomande linking up. Diomande's cross is phenomenal, and Tom Lawrence has just hit his run. He's unmarked, and so often we see Rangers players unmarked and about 10, 12 yards out from the box, and the ball misses the target by an absolute mile with a header, but he connected with it perfectly, found the bottom right-hand corner, and it was a lovely goal and a great start for us.
Yeah, I lavish praise on Silva, but Diamande was out of this world tonight. Defensively, going forward, his first touch, just the direction in which he moves with the ball. I think we've got a real steal here, Craig. He looks a player, by the way, and I think the best is still yet to come of him. But even at that, how often, I could be very wrong here, and I think some of the viewers could tell us in the comments. Has he ever played at that level before, as in Europa League last 16? What's his experience like in Europa League?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been last 16, but he's definitely played Europa League and Conference League. I think he's played in both for Nordsjælland. So he's got experience at that level, whether it's at the last 16 stage. But I thought he was extremely impressive tonight. I think he also made the mistake at the weekend that kind of led to the second Motherwell goal, but he just keeps doing what he does. He tries to win the ball back as quickly as he can. When we're out of possession, he's not scared to take control on the edge of our own box and start moves. And he's got a bit of creativity around the edge of the box, the edge of the opposition box as well, which I think is something that we sorely lack, especially with the injuries we've got just now. So he's been fantastic since he joined us, and tonight was another example of that.
100%, Craig. And I think, see, when you break down the goal itself, like the intelligence for him to lift the ball in the first place, but lift it outside the 6-yard box, because the temptation there for a lot of other players would be to smash the ball across the face of the goal. Knowing that everyone's driving towards the goal, Lawrence, again, is quite intelligent to hold his run. Perfect. It's an absolute perfect cross for Lawrence to come on, and it's a great header to find that bottom corner, because I think anywhere else it's not going in the net, given the amount of men in front of him. And God, I just love Tom Lawrence. He's just one of these guys you just, I don't know, warm to. I've really loved him since he's kicked on with his fitness, and I just really hope he can stay fit until the end of the season, because he's such an important player for us.
Yeah, Tom Lawrence, I think, is showing the player that we hoped he would be. Yep. Now I think he's been hampered by injuries, and you start to get a bit concerned, especially as Rangers fans, and you've seen so many players with so much promise, and they come to us and they just get hampered by injuries, and that kind of stalls their career as such, and we don't get to see the best of them. That was always the concern with Tom Lawrence, but I think over the last couple of months we've started to see what he can really offer us, and fingers crossed this is the start, or the real start, of Tom Lawrence's Rangers career, and we get to see the real benefits, because he not only helps to create goals and sort of dictate the midfield, but he scores them as well, and he isn't scared of a shot from outside the box. After that, the kind of normal pattern of the game resumed. Benfica were on top, but we looked fairly comfortable. We were really solid in our defensive shape. We were narrow, we were compact. Benfica were getting a lot of corners, but not really doing much with them. Di Maria seemed to want to shoot from every corner that he hit today for some reason.
Imagine being that good. It must get boring, eh?
I know, you're that good, you shoot from corners and your teammates don't moan at you. But yeah, it was Jack Butland was called into action a couple of times, but the real next action point, I think, was just before half time. When we were about 5 minutes from half time, I remember thinking, just get to half time 1-0.
Yeah.
1-0 up. just make sure we get there, because Benfica were starting to increase the pressure. They were creating more chances. I was like, just get to half time 1-0 up. And then Benfica, after a very long VAR check, are awarded a penalty. John Suter gets on the end of I think it was a Di Maria corner, actually. He goes to head it clear, or he goes to clear it effectively, but he heads the ball onto his own arm. It seems a bit of a confusion as to whether that should be a penalty or shouldn't be a penalty. It depends if you listen to UEFA rules or IFAB rules, which is confusing in itself. But the penalty is awarded by VAR. To me, it's extremely harsh because his hand is so close to his head that there's no way he can react that quickly. What was your thoughts on that?
Exactly like you, Craig, and I said it at the weekend as well. The handball rule's confusing for guys like us, and it's confusing for the players. It's confusing for the referees. Like, it needs to be simplified. It's such a boring topic now that the handball rule is just really spoiling things when it comes to like what's given and what's not. And I know that that lot have been moaning since Sunday about what should have been a penalty or what shouldn't be a penalty. Honest answer, I don't know in any of these situations if it should or it shouldn't be. My understanding was, and I take this example from the game that Newcastle were away to PSG, and they were very hard done to in the dying minutes, where they got a penalty against them with a ball appeared to come up off the defender's leg and onto his arm, and the penalty was given. If I'm correct, after that game, they said, no, they shouldn't have had a penalty because it goes from body to hand.
Yeah.
But again, though, is that different because his arm's in a natural position by his side, where his shooter's hand is above his head? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you what.
That's fair. To me, it seems harsh that there's no way that he can react in time to, because his hand is literally centimeters away from his head, so there's no way that when he heads the ball, there's no way he can react. So it seems harsh. It might be a bit of sour grapes considering it's against Rangers, but the penalty was given. Angel Di Maria stepped up with perhaps the coolest penalty ever seen. Jack Butland was already diving, and before Di Maria hit the ball was in the back of the net, 1 each. I felt we would have been a bit unlucky to go in at half time 1 each, but we didn't need to worry because Dujon Stelling was about to step up for his first ever professional goal in professional football. 137 games, I think it is. He's played in that, and that's his first one, and he definitely picked his moment. It was ball in from the left, Fabio Silva. You can wax lyrical about Fabio Silva now and talk a bit about his performance, but he did really well on the left hand side. Again, crossed the ball in, he nutmegged the guy from 10 yards away as the ball was crossed in, and Dujon Stelling's just ghosted in at the back post.
Exactly the word I was thinking there, Craig. Ghosted in there.
Yeah. He's showcasing his striker credentials, and he's found the back of the net, and it was 2-1 to Rangers. And I don't think I expected. I thought we could maybe score one goal over there. I'm not sure I expected us to score two, but at that stage, you're thinking Rangers Thursdays are back, and we're on the way again.
Oh, 100%. Silva again, twists and turns, almost the same situation as what the first goal came from. He kind of gets the defender in roughly the same spot, and maybe there's a wee bit of PTSD where the defender thinks he might go down the line with it again. Cuts back onto his right, and I think, see, throughout the night with Silva, I feel like he was our out ball when we needed to sort of get a break from defending. He was holding it up. He was winning things high up the field, whether it was free kicks or throw-ins or just generally holding the ball up long enough to get us up the field and in and around the box. So dangerous. I think a lot of people had doubts over, I'm not quite sure about Silva. I'd rather have Dessler starting. It's a horses for courses sort of thing. For games like that, for the return leg next week, Silva could very well be the main man for us, as he was tonight, alongside Diamonde in my books. But in terms of the goal itself, Big Dujon won't score an easier goal in all his life. I know he said 137 games or whatever it was there, but it's not going to get much easier than that. But do you know what? Fair play. He was alive when everybody else was static and gets the reward, 2-1 up in Benfica. And who thought we'd be sitting talking about that tonight?
Exactly, yeah. It was half time, 2-1 up. You're thinking if we can see this out and get a victory, you've gone from if we lose, going from a starting position of if we lose by 1 goal and we're still in the tie at the end of the game, then as we head to Ibrox, then that's great. And by half time, you're like, if we get the victory here, then we're well on our way. It doesn't take much to change the mood and change the tone. But I'm actually keen to go on to the second half. And in a second, it was very much more dominated by Benfica. Benfica stepped up from that stage. We could tell their fans weren't happy at half time, and I think they continued to display that. Benfica were pushing and pushing and pushing. I thought we were set up defensively really well. Well, the one thing for me, and you mentioned sort of horses for courses between Silva and Dessers, I not find it hard to criticise anyone tonight, because I thought as a team we played really well, and everyone deserves credit. I don't think Dessers quite offered enough in terms of being the main target man up front. I think he gave the ball away too often, or he had poor touches, or he wasn't making himself available, and I don't think he was quite up to the mark of what we needed at that stage. What did you make of Cyril Dessers' performance tonight?
I feel like he got completely dominated by Otamendi the whole game while he was up there. I can't remember off the top of my head him doing anything meaningful. But again, we just need to ride the wave with Dessers. It's all we've got at the moment. I can't see Roof starting any games. I think Clement's quite happy to use him off the bench for 20, 30 minutes a game. And personally, I thought Roof done so much more than Dessers when he came on the pitch, as in hold-up play, putting himself about, being dangerous and being a bit of a pest in general. But Dessers for me was non-existent. But in all fairness, I'm not his biggest fan. Right? I've played up front my full life. Games like that where you're up against quality opposition, it can be a very lonely task, especially when, not from my perspective, but when you're playing up against a guy like Otamendi, it can be a long night. It can be tough for him, and I felt at times he was very isolated. But you make a point, Nick. A few of the first touches where he could have pulled it in the way Silva was doing and letting guys come and play around about him, it just wasn't there. I don't think he's a fantastic football player at all.
Yeah, I don't think tonight was his best game, but we've seen him turn up in other occasions. So I think it's very much the horses for courses thing, and it'll be interesting to see where Philippe Clement, or who he picks, in the second leg at Ibrox to tackle that. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dessers again, if I'm honest. I felt we were solid defensively throughout that second half. Fabio Silva maybe had our best chance around the 60-minute mark, where he forced the keeper into a save. Benfica were creating chances. Jack Butland was making some really good saves. They were sending loads of shots wide of the target, which was great to see. And there were some fantastic blocks in there from, I think, across the full back line. They all blocked at least one or two shots that were heading goalwards. So the effort was there from everyone, and you couldn't fault that or the mentality either. 66 minutes, Angel Di Maria, that man again, he's got a free kick probably 40, 50 yards from goal or so. He whips it into the box. Looks like it's just heading wide. Looks like it's just going to be just seen out by the defenders, and it's going to go wide of the mark. Connor Goldson decides, no, I need to put my head on this one. I don't know if he got a shout. Jack Butland was still back on his line. As I said, it looked like it was just going to float wide of the target. Connor Goldson puts his head on it. It flies into the top corner and kind of took the wind out my sails watching it, I think, because it was such a disappointing goal to lose, and it was such an unnecessary goal to lose as well. What did you make of that whole sequence that led to the equaliser?
It's just a strange way and the strange nature football can be at times, with the quality in which they were attacking at times, and we were sort of shushing it out and managed to sort of keep them at bay. And then a 40-yard free kick into the box, we head it into their own net.
Yeah,
that's football for you. Big Goldson just can't get a break for it just now. I feel that I said it on Sunday, I feel he needs a rest. I feel like Balogun has to come in for him on Sunday. I don't even think it'd be that much a downgrade going Balogun and Suter at centre-back on Sunday. I know people might disagree with that, but I think we would be all right. It's Hibs, they've hardly been firing all cylinders up front. So for me, it looked like Goldson just needed a rest. And I think by this point as well, Craig, watching Lundstrom, the guy looked dead on his feet. He looked like he was running on treacle. passes started to go, the decision making started to drop off, and so you could tell he's mentally tired there. Clermont has asked these players to go to the well countless times because of our injury record, and this is what really worries me the most with the title run in, that games catch up with us, as it has in the two Europa runs that we had back in 2008 and 2 years ago, that it caught up with us. And I think this squad's a lot more threadbare than they were back then. You even see Cole McKinnon come off the bench tonight, which was an unusual sub. I know you'll get to that, but
you're firing through my agenda here. I was about to come on to the player tiredness part of it. I thought after Benfica scored, Connor Goldson scored the own goal for Benfica's second. It wasn't only myself sitting watching it. The win seemed to come out of it. Seemed to come out of the players as well, and you could see they looked leggy. You could see they looked tired, and you can't fault them because they've given everything in that opening 65, 70 minutes. But it almost felt like Philippe Clement maybe waited 5-10 minutes too long to make the triple substitution. And as you say, he brought on Roof, Ryan Jack, and Cole McKinnon. Cole McKinnon was a surprise one for me and probably a lot of other people, but it potentially shows how threadbare the wide areas are. But it felt like maybe those substitutions should have came slightly earlier.
Do you know what though? Credit to Cole McKinnon. What a block when Di Maria cut inside and he's thrown himself at it. Brilliant, absolutely fearless, and credit to him. He didn't do too much in the game, but therefore be a part of the team. Get in and get yourself noticed. And yeah, it was an unusual one. Like my nephew turned in and says to me, "Who's that?" It's like, but nah, he's come in and done well, and who knows, might play a part again. And you've got to feel for Lovelace a wee bit. I feel like that might have been his opportunity again, and he got injured for the B team the other day. When we look back to when he got injured, McCausland got the chance and grabbed it with two hands. It was unlucky, but do you know something? We've got to look at the positives here. Ryan Jack been back as well. Good to see him get minutes. I said it the other night that Raskin's going to play his part with the run-in. I really hope Ryan Jack can too, because like we say, Goldson needed a rest. My God, Lundstrom needs a rest. He's played almost every minute, every game. And I know why Clement's left him on there, but there could have been a few costly mistakes where he was giving the ball away and where they were breaking and trying to get the legs to get back in. But it was good to see Ryan Jack back. And I think he done pretty well when he came on.
Yeah, I thought all three subs did pretty well when they came on, to be fair. I thought Kamar Roof was, as you said earlier, showing more than Cyril Dessers had done up front. He was putting himself about. He looked like he had a bit of pace about him again, which I think sometimes we are lacking as a team, but also Kamar Roof can sometimes look a wee bit laboured. But he looked like he was fit anyway when he was making those runs, which is really positive. Ryan Jack did well, and so did Cole McKinnon. We saw the game out from there. I don't think we really created much more. It was all about, let's get to the end of the game, let's not lose it, and let's go back to Ibrox, where it's going to be a cracking night under the lights. It'll be a 5:45 p.m. kickoff. But I guess before we go on to look at next week and your feeling about it at this stage, did you have a man of the match for tonight's game at all?
Maybe a toss-up between Diamonde or Silva, but I'm going to give it to Silva for his creation in the two goals. I know you could say that about Diamonde for the first, but I just felt like as an outball, Silva was just fantastic all night. He occupied their fullback. He was everywhere as well, up and down that line. And I think, like I said, I think there was doubts over him, but tonight's performance maybe quietens a few people, and it's probably going to give him that wee bit of confidence at a time that we really, really need it. So, yeah, it's Fabio Silva for me. What about yourself?
Yeah, I was going to give it to Diomande actually. So that's a nice wee one of each for that one, because I think Diomande was tremendous, and it's the first time we've really seen him play at that level. All three of I don't know if you noticed, but all three of the players that were added to the European squad all started tonight, and that's, I think we saw the extra stuff that those guys offered to the team.
And a wee mention to Ridvan there, like you said, Craig. I thought he had an excellent game too. Considering the task that he had up against Di Maria, I thought he had a very good game.
Yeah, I thought he did as well. I think, as I said earlier, I think it's hard to fault any of the players on the performance tonight, because I thought everyone gave everything for the jersey, and that's all you can really ask for in situations like that when they come up against a really high quality team. Fair enough, not high on confidence, but a high quality team with high quality individuals. And I thought they gave everything, and they did the fans proud tonight. Looking ahead, just quickly, just a quick thought on the second leg, Ibrox next week, 5:45 p.m. kickoff. Are you hopeful? I assume you're always hopeful that we'll win and we'll go through. What are your expectation levels at now that you've seen us play against Benfica in that first leg?
Do you know what? We spoke about it off air that I think we were texting at half time and we were saying they don't look how folk have made them out to be. They do look like a team very low in confidence that's trying to find their way again.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they're a fantastic side with a lot of fantastic players, but I think we've got anything to fear. Rangers at Ibrox, under the lights, big European night. We love it. This is what we've bought into for the past 5-6 years. That we've just been excellent since Gerrard came in. We really turned a corner in Europe, and we've managed to find a way that teams don't want to come to Ibrox. Trust me, they'll be unhappy. Listen, they look at the game and look at towards the end of the game. They were throwing attacking players on and strikers on, and I'm not sure who it was in commentary. We're saying, I don't think they fancy leaving here with a draw, knowing that they've got to go to Ibrox. It's very true. It is. So I fancies, Craig.
I think so, and it'll be a cracking night at Ibrox next week. I think we'll round it off there. Kyran for the immediate post-match reaction to Benfica 2, Rangers 2. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you've enjoyed the content, please drop a like on the video. It helps us massively. Please subscribe to the TII YouTube channel. Plenty of great content every single week coming up from the team. So make sure you don't miss any of that. But thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Until next time, goodbye.